We had 9.5 inches of rain in the last 12 hours here, and this lake was down by a couple of feet, and as you can see there in the woods, it is overflowing big time. I don't know if you can hear it, but the waterfall is running. If you can hear it, let's go take a look. Well, we're not down to the waterfall yet, but we're in the waterfall field. You can see there's a big puddle over there. The rain just stopped not too long ago. 9.5 inches in 12 hours is a lot of water, especially for the middle of summer here. But this hole in the middle here, I don't know where it goes, but look at all that water flowing down into it. And listen. That's the sound of a lot more water than just this flowing down there. I don't know what kind of a system we've got underneath this property, but there are large sinkholes in several different places. Some of them, like this one, they filled in with big rocks. There's a lot of water flowing underneath there. I wish I knew what was under the ground here. Guess if I was a multimillionaire, I could have a survey crew come down and do some testing and tell me what kind of a cave system's under there, but there's clearly a rather large cave system underneath my property. Now let's go take a look at that waterfall. Well, one thing's for sure, I need to make a better trail going back to the waterfall. I don't really want a trail I can ride on the four-wheeler. I don't want to destroy the natural beauty of this area, but I need something a little easier to walk through. I just came through here with clippers and nipped off branches that stick out in the way. Haven't really made a good trail. I'm not really dressed for this. Can you hear it? That's rushing water. We have this spot over here, my property, where it doesn't do this for very long. Even after this much rain, it'll be done in an hour or two. If you get just the right angle on it, it is gorgeous. And I'm going to try to get that right angle. This area here doesn't usually run. It's almost always dry. But I love the look of it coming down the hill there. Try to get up there without falling on my butt. It's a nice thing about flip-flops is you don't have to worry about getting them wet. This is just kind of a really interesting spot right here. This water just flows down off the bottom half of my land. Most of it goes underground, like we saw earlier. This is the part that doesn't go underground. Let's see if I can get across here and up. Get a little further, then we'll head down to the waterfall. This area is definitely not. There's a big old pile of rocks they cleared out of the field many, many moons ago. There's the water coming down from up above, down over these little waterfalls. It ain't so impressive from up here, but I think it's really pretty when you're standing down there watching it. Let's go check out that waterfall. I'm going to go this way to get there. And you can tell that was flowing much heavier earlier. Much heavier. And I'm sure the waterfall was too. Like I said, this particular stream, it's usually dry within a half an hour of the rain ending, so half an hour or an hour, and this will all be dried up probably. I don't think I've ever been down here after 9.5 inches of rain in 12 hours, so I could be wrong. It might run for a while today. Let's go check out that waterfall. Find a way through this brush to get over there without getting soaked. There, we're back up on the trail again. This is kind of what I'd call a little bit of a dangerous spot, because this area of ground's obviously slipping in the downward slope, but down there is where the waterfall water, as you can see coming out up here, meets this creek coming down here. It looks like the waterfall's got plenty of water. So let's go check it out. Oh, and this is a future project. Somebody threw a bunch of scrap metal down here. I don't know why people junk up their land like that, but eventually I intend to get that out of there, and I'll do it in the winter on account of snakes. Can you hear it? No. Most of what you hear is the water rushing down the hill behind the waterfall. I can barely hear the waterfall itself right now, but we're going to come around this bend and trail it. You'll hear it then. I really wish I had a GoPro. $300 for a camera for a channel that makes nothing in revenue. It's just not something I can float past my wife right now. But I promise you, that would make for a much better picture. Yes, it is really flowing. Hard to see through all the trees, but it is really flowing. I don't want to go scaling that hill in flip-flops. Wish I'd have changed shoes now, but I have other videos on my channel of the waterfalls really rushing like that. Let's go get a closer look up to them. Let's walk over here real quick first. This right here is there's a real steep drop off of big rocks right there, where this used to have a land bridge or a rock bridge across here. This all used to be a cave at one point in time. So you can look down there and see it is really flowing. That's why I think there's got to be a cave up there under that other spot too, because it makes the same sound. You hear the sound of the rushing water. That's what we heard underground. And look, turkey feather. We have plenty of turkeys around here, which is good, because you know one of the things turkeys like to kill and eat the most? Snakes. Which makes them my friend. I don't have $250,000 for an anti-venom shot, and I don't want to go through the pain either, so that's the trade-off. Okay, we're back on the easier trail. None of these trails are easy, especially not in flip-flops. Big old crack right there. One of these days, someone's going to come down here and a big old chunk of that's going to be down the bottom. I say someone because it could be thousands, even tens of thousands of years from now. I doubt if I'll be here to see it. But you never know, right? Another one of these gigantic cracks. Goes all the way down. Deep, deep cavern down there. Okay. We're almost there. Well, this little creek runs to a second waterfall. It's only about an 8 or 10-foot waterfall, and it don't last very long after the rain stops. It's a big one. It won't flow like this for very long. Yeah, it's not near as high as I've got in other videos. But judging by the other creek, like over here, you can see all the pushed down grass. Everything was flowing much heavier a few hours ago in the middle of the night when we had heavy downpours. But there that is. Let me go show you this little waterfall here. You don't get to see him very often unless I decide to come down here and, like today, get soaking wet just to see it. There it is. Granted, it's not as spectacular, but it's still really cool. Just a little waterfall falls down in there. I'll get a little closer. Yeah, not real big. 8 or 10 feet, maybe 12. Not like the one over here. Got like an 8-foot drop and then a 25-foot drop. Let's see the waterfall from up above. I don't know if I've ever put that in a video. There it is, coming off my neighbor's property. Going down, there's a little waterfall there, which technically ain't a waterfall because it's only about 4 feet, and they say 5. Then there's a second waterfall right there. That's about 6 or 8 feet. Then, of course, you got the big one at the bottom down there. I'm surprised there's not more interest in a waterfall on YouTube, but there isn't. I get very few views on waterfall videos, but at this point, since I make nothing and get no exposure, I will probably just use this for my own personal pleasure. Someday down the road, I won't be healthy enough to come down here. Might be in a home of some sort, or who knows what. I can look back to when I could go down here and see that waterfall. I mean, come on. How many people can say, I own a waterfall? Yeah, I'm sure there's a few people can say they own a little 4 or 5 footer around here, but how many people have a waterfall of that kind of scale? I mean, you can see the huge scale of it. What would be nice is if I had campers coming on a day like this, but I don't know, the camping seems to have dried up too. Go figure. You would think camping would be something that would be a bigger deal when things get tight financially. Go on vacation, come out here and camp a couple days and hike all over the property and see everything. Go down the road and go to Blanchard Caverns, all the other things. People don't. Not like you would think they might. But anyway, 9.5 inches of rain sure makes a difference. I mean, you'd have to live here to really understand how much of a difference. Because I see it all the time, I can see the difference easily. That's a lot of rain for pretty much anyone outside of maybe Hawaii. Or during a hurricane, which coincidentally we had the remnants of Hurricane Beryl last week, just 1 week ago, gave us 6 inches. And most all of that soaked in. Waterfall wasn't really hardly running. It had just a trickle going over it. Real picturesque type trickle. So most of it soaked in, because it came down slowly over the course of 12 hours. This came down a little less slowly, and we got 3.5 more inches. And the ground wasn't near as dry because we just got 6 inches a week ago. So we got almost 16 inches of rain in 8 days. It's a lot of water. A lot of water. Let's ride around and see if we can find anything else to look at.